Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Kia Sorento all-wheel drive in the X-Line SX Prestige trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 255/45 Continental tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Jungle Green. And the name kind of doesn't match to me, the actual color. It looks more like a different type of green than jungle green, but it looks really good. I guess it's more on the pastel end of greens and very impressive looking, I think. Now here in the front, it has gloss black, matte black. It also has some grays here, some matte grays here and here. The gloss black in the grille and the matte black looking pretty good. Now it has a camera integrated into the center of the grille. There's also the radar adaptive cruise control sensor down here, parking sensors across the front and back, and they also detect things on the side of the vehicle. You can see one of the sensors here on the side. Now there is a pretty neat looking headlight system. I showed this in the night video. It has I said in the night video horizontal, but it's vertical lights. It's like a vertical stack here of 4 projectors, and then it has a pretty cool looking turn signal, very effective here on the front, and a multi-reflector fog light there at the bottom. Looking at the profile, you can see the gloss black wheels kind of match everything fairly well. There's some black cladding here around the wheel wells, not too overly big, and then you have here on the sides of the vehicle as well, there's some black cladding. And the vehicle doors actually go all the way to the bottom here, and I'll show you why in a second. Now the pillars here are gloss black, and they kind of solidify all the glass. It even has a gloss black like frame around it, looking pretty good. Side mirrors are gloss black. It has body colored handles and a fairly prominent gloss black roof rail as well. So yeah, a lot of matte black, gloss black everywhere. The key fob has a separate physical key and a separate little there that you put on, little thing right there that you put on your keychain. This is what the key actually looks like, the key fob, and it has a little Kia light that illuminates when you push buttons. So if I hit that button, I don't know if you can see it during the day. I showed it in the night video. But it has a lock and unlock here on the edge, the ability to open up the power liftgate, panic button there, and remote start on this side. So it feels kind of rubbery too. It has like this little rubbery texture to it. I really like this key. It's a little on the large sides, but other than that, I really do like this key. Let's go ahead and hit the panic button. So yeah, nice strong horn. So it flashes the lights, beeps the horn. So yeah, it's the full proximity system. As long as you have the key with you on the outside of the door, you can lock the door by placing your hand or your finger over the sensor right here, indicated by that little dimple. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. It takes a second or half a second, and it'll unlock the door. It senses the key on the outside of the door. It senses your hand position and allows you access to the vehicle. There's a physical key location behind this cover. So just slide this cover off, and it's behind there, if you can see it. But that's how you can access the door if you need to with the physical key. There's also a little camera here, one on each side of the side mirror, which is able to pick up. I'll show you when we get inside. It's an excellent camera system. So the door goes all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, and it has a seal down there as well. So it's able to seal up that threshold area, keeping it relatively clean so you don't get your clothes dirty getting out of the vehicle, basically. So the inside is really nice. I was very impressed with it as soon as I got in the vehicle. So we have the soft touch surfaces here, here, here. Down here is the hard touch. It has this vinyl surfaces here and here, and has a double stitched, and this is all soft, feels really good materials. Same thing with here. The handle and all that stuff is excellent. Now, this part right here is kind of like it's open, but you can still kind of use it as a pocket because it has this little edge right here, and there's like a little rubber floor in the bottom to keep things from sliding around and everything. There's a pocket at the bottom, and it has like this simulated wood grain right here, and it's kind of concave. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of concave right in here. It feels really good and looks good. You can tell it's not real, but it looks good, and it's kind of has this design. It looks really good when you sit in the vehicle. There's the Sorento badging there in the sill plate. Power seat here on the passenger side. You're able to go up and down, tilt the back, and a two-way lumbar adjustment, which is pretty substantial for a passenger seat. Leather seats. Now it has this cloth right here where it meets up with the hard plastic to protect the leather, But other than that, heated and ventilated seats look really nice. I really like the stitching design and everything here. And I like the color as well. It's like a desaturated green type color, to my eyes anyway. Lots of legroom here in the front. I actually have the seat all like really forward. But you can see how much legroom's up here. The floor mat hooks in place here in a single spot. It feels really good. Nice thick pile in the carpet. It's not like a cheap floor mat like some manufacturers. It also has like a rubber backing and these little pieces right here. So yeah, this is a really nice floor mat. Some other brands have like super cheap floor mats where they come from the factory, and it really makes the vehicle look cheaper than what it really is. But this one has nice carpet, floor mats, headliner, all that stuff. I'll show you that soon. But yeah, this is a hard touch surface here and here. Locking glove compartment, which has a smooth inside, and there is a light in there, which I show in the night video, little spoiler. We have some non-reflective or non-glossy or non-reflective chrome. So it's like a matte chrome or satin chrome there. And then you have more of that wood grain surface. Soft touch dash, kind of rubbery soft touch dash. And check out that gauge cluster. From this angle, you can see it looks like one long screen over there. And it actually works well. It's actually 2 screens. Has like a suede headliner with a huge panoramic sunroof. I'll look at it in more detail later on. The opening here in the front is excellent. You're not bumping your head. It's very easy to just hop in and out. The seat height relationship to the ground is excellent. I can just kind of get in and out without climbing in or falling in or anything like that. And the swing of the door in the front is good. The back door, the swing of the door is really good, especially considering the opening you have back here. It's almost better than the front. Actually, it looks better, actually. So yeah, same thing, getting in and out of the second row and third row is, or more so the second row, is very easy considering how much room you have. And you can see the back door goes all the way to the bottom. And we have very similar style as the front. They're not skimping on anything. Actually give you a shade in addition to the privacy glass. You can pull that up and hook it. We have a cup holder right there in that forward position. It's easy to get to, but other than that, it's the same style. You have a smaller pocket at the bottom, but we do have a heated seats back here, and it's a 2-stage heated captain seats. Fancy seal plate once again. And here's the second row seats. And they do have on both sides the latch system for car seats, or ISOFIX system. And very cool styling back here as well. Now these little armrests kind of fold down. They're nice and soft. So they ratchet up and you can fold them down. They go all the way down like that. And then you lift them up and they ratchet and you get to the point where you want, and then they'll stay there. There's net pockets on the back of the seats. It's a hard touch surface, it's durable. So if your kids are, kicking the seat or whatever, it's gonna hold up pretty good. And having that softness to it. There's like a little mesh here as well. So you have a kind of a double pocket. So this mesh right here is able to just put some smaller stuff so you can see it, and then you can put other stuff in there as well. Climate control vents, 12-volt power supply, 115-volt power inverter, 150-watt power inverter there at the bottom. And you can see the floorboard is almost flat. It's very spacious and roomy back here. And it's open here in the center, so the kids can run there in the center and get to the back if they need to. There's 12-volt. There's USB ports here on the sides of the front seats there and here, so that way you can charge devices or whatever. And these are USB-C ports. So to access the third row, there's actually 2 ways to do it, or actually there's 2 positions this seat has. The first one position is to fold the seat down in the cargo area to add to the cargo area, and I'll show you what they look like soon. But to access the third row, you can press this button. And before I do that, actually, I forgot to show you something. There's a little net pocket on the sides of the seats, which is super handy. You can put your cell phone in there or just anything. It's on both seats. I really like those little things like that. But let's go ahead and press this button. You can see it kind of spoons to the front seat there. Now, when that front seat's more forward, the seat, of course, can go more forward. so you can access the third row a little bit easier here. It's just kind of limited this way. And you can see the third row seats are kind of low to the floor. So, you know, if you put like tall people back here, knees are going to stick up in the air, you know. But it does have the ISOFIX or latch system for car seats on both sides. And, you know, so that helps out a lot. Some vehicles only have it on one side or not at all. So this one has it on both sides. And there's USB-C port there, a little storage area there, cup holder, same thing on the other side. And there's a 12-volt power supply. And there's some buttons for lowering the second row seats. But if you're in the second row, if you're in the third row, you have this button to press. But there's also, you see this little red strap on that seat. So there's like a manual override so you can get out without relying on electricity, basically. So let's go ahead and move the seat back. And so you can have the seat forward like this, or you can slide it back like that. And then you see this button right here basically does the same thing as this button. But if you want to have the cargo mode, which is what I call it, you lift this up and it kind of flops the seat down. It kind of lowers the bottom slightly. And so that's the cargo mode. So you can add to your cargo space that way. Looking at the back of the vehicle, you see these shark fin antenna. This shark fin antenna is body colored, looking really nice. And there is a third brake light at the top of the glass. Now there's also a rear wiper hidden under here as well. Maybe you can see it under there. But yeah, there's a rear wiper and it swings down, which is excellent. It's hidden, and so if there's snow or whatever built up here, it pushes it off, and it just kind of, instead of trying to wipe up, it swipes down, which is great. And I like the way it's hidden and everything. There's also a rear view camera. There's a rear view mirror, but this is the rear view camera that goes along with it. So that's something that's right there in the very center and gives you good visibility, especially if you have a lot of passengers in the second and third row seats blocking your visibility. That helps out a lot. And then the backup camera is located here, once again, in the very center position. So we've got a good position there. And once again, parking sensors back here, LED taillights, looking pretty good. Now, it has red turn signals, but they're very bright at night. Just check out my night video. The exhaust is fairly well hidden. So opening up the power liftgate, you can of course use the key, or you can press this button under here. Just kind of a long press actually, right here in the very center. It'll lift up for you. And it has a hard touch surface here, a manual override to open it up. So this is the cargo area if you have all the seats occupied with passengers. And you can see it's quite limited at this rate right here. Now it does have a slight amount of space under this floor right here. And then there's the tools for the spare tire. There's the front tag. There's the tools for the spare tire. And you access the spare tire, which is underneath the vehicle, which you saw in the beginning of the video. Underneath that cover is a little bolt, and you can unscrew that, and it lowers the spare tire. So that's how you get to it. And then you can unhook it and use it. But yeah, as far as cargo space, kind of limited at this point, but it's very easy to add to the cargo space. So you can see we have this little tiny third row, and how we lower the seats is pretty typical. We just pull these straps, the headrest folds, and then you just kind of push it forward like so. And this side, same thing. So it's a 50-50 split. And now we have a fairly significant amount of cargo space. So just by doing that, we can add to our cargo space while still keeping the other seat up and maintain some passenger space if we need it. But you can see, like in my case, I would not need the third row very often. So I can just leave it like this, and this would be a very capable cargo space. So this is a good angle to see the little cup holders, little storage area there, USB port, 12-volt power supply. There's tie downs as well here in the back, so you can put a net pocket or something. There's a little attachment there, and you can put a net pocket on that. There's a subwoofer back here, and then there's the cup holder, USB port, USB-C ports. And there's a tie down there in the front, so you can tie some stuff down if you need to. There's also a place to install a shade if you'd like to do that. It's an option. So if we want to fold down these second row seats, it actually has these buttons here. So we can just kind of push the button. It releases the seat. Sometimes, depending on if the seat in front of it is too far back, sometimes it won't go all the way down. But most of the time it will just kind of flop down. Let's go ahead and press the other button here. So yeah, so in this case, they both went down fine. So now you can see it's a massive cargo area back here. The height is good and the width is good. So yeah, it's pretty, with the captain seats in the second row, it's not really super practical as far as like laying down and taking, camping in the back of this thing. But it's, you could potentially do it, but I'm just saying it is a lot of space here. The captain's chairs kind of limit that though, but you can see it's almost completely flat, and then with the second seats, they're kind of tilted forward a little bit. But yeah, a lot of space back here once you start folding seats down. In the settings of the vehicle, you can set it to where you walk up to the vehicle, it senses the key, and it automatically opens up the power lift gate. But when it does that, it'll automatically close once you walk away if you have that turned on. But if you don't want it to automatically close, you can temporarily turn that feature off here. If you just want it to close manually, or you selecting it, you just press that button and it'll lower for you. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks with the vehicle. So you can open it up, and it has a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door while you're pumping gas. To start it up, as long as you have the key inside the vehicle, you just press and hold the brake and press this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice this floor mat hooks in place in two places, keeping it straight for you. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and they're sporty with the raised rubber aluminum pedals, looking pretty good. It also has a pretty substantial footrest. Now it's not huge here at the top, but it's open, so even if you have a large foot, it's fine as a footrest. Let's take a look under the hood. To raise the hood, there is a little latch, basically right here in the very center, a little bit to the right of the center, right underneath this A, looks like a backwards N. It actually reminds me of the Killer Instinct game font. All right, so reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. Now it's a kind of heavy hood. It's like a steel hood. Could be made out of aluminum actually, but steel. And it does require a prop to hold it up. There's the prop here, and it swings up and goes right where that arrow is pointing. So there's insulation underneath the hood. There's also seals across the back. And also this is kind of rubberized as well. This surface here, it's like a rubber surface on the sides there. And there's an insulated firewall as well as heat shielding. You can see the heat shielding on the turbocharger as well, which is in the back. That's where the exhaust is. Intake's here in the front. And it has this little plastic cover there. The battery is easy to get to. It's here on the right side. And you can see the suspension towers are connected. You can kind of see it, but it's kind of connected right there with a brace in the unibody structure of the vehicle. With a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, it puts out 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. Now this is paired with an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. And of course, it's an all-wheel drive system with a center locking differential. The blind spot indicator is here on the side mirror, a little triangle that illuminates when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have the 2 presets for the power seat, power windows. You can turn on the child lock, safety there for the windows there. But the front and rear windows are all one touch up and down. And it's laminated glass here on the front. It's one touch, and it goes fairly fast. Rear windows, see how far down they go. Yeah, they go all the way down. And it's not laminated in the back glass. Your door lock control. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust with that little pad, and then you can power fold them by pressing that button there. Press it again, power folds them back out. You can also have it to where it will power fold when the vehicle locks as well. So the driver's seat kind of one-ups the passenger seat. It has the ability to go up, down, tilt the back, 4-way lumbar adjustment though, and a thigh extension. So this area right here, you can adjust that using this switch here. But yeah, I really like these seats, heated and cooled, and I like the styling and comfort and everything. To the left of the steering column, you have the dimmer switch switch for the interior gauges, ability to open up the power liftgate, and traction control off. Default is on, but if you need to spin tires for whatever reason, you can turn it off here. It also has tilt telescoping steering column as well. Sitting in the driver's seat, I'm 6 feet tall and have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And so yeah, it's plenty of room for me. I do have to have the seat all the way back when I drive typically. So if you're like 6'2", 6'3", then you might want to take it for a test drive, make sure that it's going to have enough room for you. But there is a lot of room here. This is a hard surface here on the right side, but my knee doesn't generally rest on it, so that's not really a big deal. We have plenty of room here on the left side here. So yeah, you know, I think there's considerable amount of room here in the front for me. The steering wheel is like a two-tone, so you have like the inner color, it's a lighter color than the exterior. Kind of looks pretty good, feels good too. Good thickness. It has the gloss black on it, which you'll have to wipe regularly. It has the paddle shifters here in the back, so you can change through the gears, have some control over the gears. That has the dual clutch transmission, so it's pretty fun actually. The volume for the radios here on the left side, change to the tracks. You can change the audio source. You have your phone. You have a little favorites button, which you can customize, and then a voice recognition button here on the left side. And here on the right side is the cruise control, so you can set it with one button. Change to the speed, set pause and resume here as well. Set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and the lane keep assist system you can activate here, which works fairly well. Now you have this pages button and this little OK and up and down buttons right here. That corresponds with the digital cage cluster. Look at that in a second. Windshield wipers for the front and rear is located here. It does have an automatic function as well. Here on the left side is the headlight switch, off, automatic parking and headlights here. And then the fog lights are toggled on or off here. The gauge cluster is basically a screen. It has different views that you can customize. So the first one is this circle one. You have style A, style B, and style C, which you can link these to the drive mode as well if you like. You also have the simple design. There's style A, style B, and style C. So yeah, it has these different views. It looks pretty cool. But it has the general information, you know, it just has different ways of conveying that information. It does have the road sign assistance feature, where every time you pass a road sign, it'll kind of let you know here what the speed limit sign or whatever is. Fuel gauge, engine coolant temperatures there on the right side. It has the outside temperature, status of the stop start feature. When I turn that off, you can see it goes away, the little one there. So the center part right here, you can see right there, it shows a car and with the lines showing you the status of the adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist system. And it has the highway driving assist 2.0 system, which helps with, you know, keeping you at a set distance, maintaining the lane, but also you on certain highways you can make lane changes as well. It'll assist with that anyway. But using these buttons right here, so I'm going to refer to that as the pages button and the up and down and OK and the here in the center. And when I hit the pages button, it basically cycles through 3 different options here. 1, 2, and 3 different views. When we're on this one here, we can go up and down, and we can get our trips and more information with tire pressure, that kind of stuff. And also, since this is the all-wheel drive system, we can keep an eye on where the power is being delivered, front or rear. It also, this one has the locking center differential, which helps out in more, you know, more demanding off-road conditions, basically. All right, so this is my default right there. This screen has, this is the home screen on the center touchscreen, and has a split between the navigation, whatever's playing on the media, or your phone. You can also have different profile settings as well. So let's go ahead and just kind of swipe to the right, because there's actually 3 screens here. So the home screen, and then you can swipe over here and then you get different categories. Phone projection would be your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can have a voice memo, which is excellent. So if you have something on the top of your mind, you want to make a note of it, you can just hit that and record your voice. Subscribe to Mike's Car Info on YouTube. All right, so you can save that as a note, a reminder later on. All right, let's go back. Weather is kind of neat. You have to have the full connected services though to get the weather and all that stuff. I think it goes through your phone. Then you have valet mode, vehicle diagnostics. Then you have your setup, which is different options. Maintenance, HD radio information, notifications. Online manual is basically just a QR code that your phone, you can, it doesn't have it here on the screen. You can also pull down from the top and get quick access information here. It has the passenger talk, where when you turn that on, it will project your voice to the speakers in the back of the vehicle. So if you want to have a conversation with somebody in the third row, you can do it without screaming, basically. It's pretty cool. All right, so there's your media here. And so it has the XM radio, Apple CarPlay, AM, FM, sounds of nature, and also, of course, Bluetooth audio, playing music off of your device. Navigation map is here. And of course, you can search, you can zoom in and out, and have favorites and all that stuff. You have your little menu right here will pop up, and you can search and stuff here too as well. But yeah, pretty straightforward type system, pretty easy to use once you understand the whole the way to navigate through it. And then you have, I like the way it has the digital clock there in that same spot. Now when you put it in reverse, or when you have the camera up, the clock moves here. That's the only difference there. But this is a perfect opportunity to show you how awesome the camera system is. So right now it's showing, I put it in reverse, so it's showing the rear camera. And then it has active guidelines here, but it also has lines here showing you the edge of your vehicle and basically the estimated trajectory of the vehicle depending on which way your wheels are turning. This is very helpful. And the top-down view is excellent. It's stitched together nicely. There's no, it looks like there's actually a camera way above your vehicle looking straight down, so you can get an idea of where you're at. And same thing with these. They're very high resolution and look really good. So let's go ahead and put it in drive. And when we put it in drive, the front view camera will pop up. We still have the top-down view. Now we have these different views here on the side. So we have the top-down, wide view there, just the wheels in the front. Or we can have just the top view there, or the front view. And then we can have the side views here of the rear wheels. Remember, this is the front wheels here. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the wheels there, so I can get precise view right where the tire is going to be in relationship to a curb or anything. And then the back wheel, same thing. We can keep an eye on the right where they're at, right on the very edge, looking down. It's like you pop your head out the window looking back. You can see right where the vehicle lines up with other things. You can also hit this button and kind of look around the vehicle, and it just kind of gives you a digital representation of your vehicle, but it gives accurate surroundings basically. So we can see where we are and keep an eye on other people or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty neat. You can have control over it and move it around like that. So yeah, the camera system is excellent, good resolution and all that stuff, and just very useful features. When your parking sensors are activated, let's say you get too close to something, it gives you visual references. It beeps at you, but it also gives you a little reference on the camera view. It gives you like a little squiggly line showing you that the sonar system's picking up objects. And this is a 360 parking sensor system. So it's not just in the front and the back, it's on the sides as well. It's very, very useful. So you have some buttons down here. We have the physical volume knob tuned to the stations, and we have different buttons that change depending on what we want. So we hit this button and it changes everything to the climate control. Press it again, it goes back to the volume knob and different radio features. You do have some redundancy here, like front and rear wipers and defrosters, and then recirculate the air stays there, but most everything changes depending on what you have. Now if you press and hold this, it'll pop up this little option here to have infotainment, climate as your default. So if you want to have, like in my case, I'm not constantly changing the temperature all the time, so I changed it to infotainment. So if I change it to the climate, after a little while, just a few seconds there, it switches back automatically to me able to adjust the volume and all that stuff. So yeah, and we have some redundant buttons here so we can quickly access things without having to go through the menu there on the screen. All right, so there's heated and cooled seats, and you can see the controls here for the driver and the passengers here. And it is a 3-stage, high, medium, and low for both the cooled and the heated seat. Same thing for the passenger. Now there is USB-C ports here, and it has the ability, this one is just charging. All right, but it has the ability on this one to be just charging, or when you press that button, connect with the system and charge as well. So if you just want to charge, you can just select that. Now the benefits of this, sometimes when you plug, like in my case, I plug in my device because I want to charge it, and then it kind of like, I've had vehicles where it just kind of forces you to go through this Android Auto setup and all this other stuff is trying to connect to my phone, and I don't want to do that. I just want to charge the phone. So in this case, you have the ability to say, hey, you know, I don't want to connect with the system. I just want to charge, or you can swap that very easily just by pressing that button. There's also a wireless charger here. I have my cell phone there, and it has this big bulky case here, wallet case, and it's relatively thick, and it's able to charge here fine. I just throw it in there and push it down all the way, and it starts charging immediately, and it keeps charging. It doesn't move as I'm driving. The phone stays put. It's kind of like at an angle down. The only issue with this is that it's putting your phone in a position where it's less likely to get a signal. If there's an area where you're driving and has less signal, this might not help that situation. But as far as charging your phone and getting out of the way, it's perfect actually. And this is kind of rubberized, so you can put some stuff there as well. A lot of gloss black right in here, and the shifter is pretty straightforward. Reverse, neutral, drive, manually shift through the gears like a ratchet shifter over here. But yeah, straightforward. And also, yeah, the pedal shifters as well if you need to do that. So here's a cup holders here, and they have these little spring arms. There's also a little rubberized piece that you can take out, clean, put it back in. Pretty neat. A little storage compartment there, which is not big enough for me to put my cell phone there or anything, but it's just a quick access type thing. And once again, it has a little rubber floor that you can take out, clean, put back in. So this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, and it's able to handle different terrains, and it has a different drive modes which kind of inform the vehicle on what type of terrain you're going on. In addition to eco and sport and smart, you have normal drive mode, and then you have a snow mode, and you also have a locking center differential. So it doesn't have like a positive traction front and rear end or anything like that, but when you lock the center differential, it keeps the front and rear wheels from locked to where they turn at the exact same time. So if you're on slippery surfaces, you don't want to have any difference between the front and rear wheels moving, especially ice. Once you break traction, it's hard to get back the traction. So maintaining a consistent movement of the wheels in the front and the back is very useful sometimes. Now, like I said, it doesn't have positive traction or anything like that, or limited slip differential. It's just, regular differentials. But having that ability to lock the center part can be handy at times. So when you turn this dial, it pops up here on the screen showing you what drive mode you're in. We'll just put it back in normal. Normal works fine. I had never really had a reason to change it to sport or anything like that. So there is a heated steering wheel. It's a 2-stage, high and low and off. And kind of interesting spot to put the heated steering wheel control there, which is a little bit disconnected from the heated seats and the actual steering wheel itself. It'd be cool to have it on the steering wheel, I guess, but this is fine. It has an auto hold function, which will hold the vehicle, keep you from rolling. Like if you come to a complete stop, it'll hold the brake for you, and then you just tap the accelerator to continue. The idle stop, you can turn it off here. That's the off button. Parking sensors, that's the on button. There's the ability to turn on the camera system here just by pressing that button, and we're still on that screen. So let's switch it back to this view, which is more useful for me. So yeah, the camera, being able to hit the button and pop it up, and it's very easy to access. I use it all the time, especially if I want to like nail the parking spot, or if I'm getting close to something, or I just want to see around me. Being able to just press that button is great. Electronic parking brake is here. You just lift it up to engage it. It engages the rear wheels. To disengage, you hold the brake, push it down. There's a little storage space right here, perfect for a pin or tire gauge, something like that. Now it is smooth plastic, so whatever you put in there is going to slide around. I wish it had the rubber floor like these other compartments. Armrest is fairly soft. You know, it's kind of like soft on the surface and then kind of rubbery soft underneath. But it feels good. I hadn't had any problems with my arm being on it, resting on it, and it is solid. It's not rattling. Now there's a little release right here. Lifts up, has a little clip on the underside, 2 clips actually, and there's a little quick access tray which I have my business cards in there, and it has a textured floor and a fairly decent sized compartment, and it has a felt lining in the bottom. And me personally, I would take that felt lining and replace it with a lighter color so you can see in there a little bit better. So I don't know if there is a piece missing here, but it looks like there's a hole in the bottom. It's possible they have taken out a cover, because usually the felt lining, which is a fairly thick felt lining, but still, you know, that's not good. Like if you put stuff in there and then it falls through into that hole, then it's trapped underneath the console there. So not sure what the deal is with that. Definitely got to keep that felt lining in there to keep things from falling into that. The rearview mirror is also a rearview camera, and this is really handy. I'll show you the visibility in a minute. It's since we have a 3rd row seat, there's a lot of visibility issues without this camera, trying to look out the window. So it does have some options here. So you have the brightness and also the up and down movement as well. You can change that view. Home lane garage door opener controls are on this side. This is an auto dim rearview mirror, and also with the camera system will also dim down at nighttime as well. There's a little sensor on the back of the rearview mirror that picks up the light. So up here we have the Kia connected services, roadside assistance. We have quick tap lights here. The light to turn on all the interior lights is not backlit. It's a little spoiler for the night video. Then you can have the interior lights turn on with the door right here. That's the on light. Turn that off if you don't want the interior lights to turn on when you open the door, like you have a baby sleeping or something. This is for the sunroof. We'll get to that in a minute. It's a real nice sunroof. The visor is a simulated suede texture, very soft and feels good. It's just like the headliner, so it matches the entire headliner here. Has a little clip, big mirror. You have to manually turn the light on though. And this also extends out here on the side. It gives you full coverage actually. So let's look at this sunroof. We just kind of gently press it back, a little button there. It's one button for everything. It moves the shade back, which is also that same it's like suede texture material. Look how huge that thing is. The back portion is fixed, the front portion moves. Massive sunroof. So now we're going to press this a little bit further, and that front part moves. Press it again. All right, that's as far back as it goes. So now I push it forward, and I kind of pressed it kind of firmly forward. So now it's moving the glass and it's moving the shade. And the shade covers 100% of the light as well. So looking at the visibility, I have, under the 3rd row, I have one headrest down and one headrest up. So you can see how much of a difference it makes having the headrests up everywhere. We do have good visibility overall as far as there on the side, but looking out that little glass in the back can be an issue, especially if you have passengers and cargo and all that stuff. It definitely could turn into an issue. So having that rear view camera is excellent. In addition to the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, the 360 camera system, parking sensors that go all the way around the vehicle. So yeah, the visibility, you know, while it can be a problem when you have a bunch of passengers in here, and these shades here on the side, like that one right there is up, and you can see it kind of blocks the view. So if that one was up, that could block the view as well. So having the rear view camera and the blind spot and all that stuff helps out a lot. The rear view camera has gotten me spoiled. I think all vehicles should have that going forward. It has a really good sound system. Just all through, even low and high volumes here. It just sounds really good. Has a significant amount of bass as well when you turn the bass up, because that subwoofer in the back just works really well. Fills the airspace inside the vehicle really well. Some vehicles, it's like you can kind of tell where the speakers are coming from and it feels a little bit disconnected. This one fills in the airspace, and there's a lot of airspace in here, which kind of helps out, kind of blend it in and give you that full sound for a good radio. So this one is really enjoyable to listen to. The camera system is very helpful as well. So in addition to the visuals you also have these little, like the actual visual cameras, visibility is great. The resolution, the clarity, and all that stuff's good. But when you get close to things, the parking sensors also give you a visual reference here and on the screens over here. So if I go forward a little bit, you can see that little line gives me an idea of how far I am away from the object that is beeping. But it does it all around the vehicle, even on the sides. It gives you these little lines that kind of reference precisely where things are around you. It's excellent. Also, the blind spot cameras here, as we'll see as we're driving. But yeah, the camera systems all around, everything about it, those are really well done. And I wish more vehicles, well, more manufacturers would have these type of camera systems that are this well done and, you know, thought out and everything. So I'm not putting it in sport mode. I'm just going to accelerate just a normal mode here. And yeah, the acceleration just in normal mode is really good. And I'm flooring it right there, so it's a little bit like overdoing it. When you're just normal acceleration, it feels very strong and responsive. And sport mode is, you know, gives you a little bit faster shifts and more responsive and higher, you know, higher RPMs and all that stuff. And that helps out with the acceleration and sportiness of the drive and everything. But it's one of those type of vehicles where you don't have to switch the sport mode to get some power. You know, you could definitely get some power without changing the drive modes. This vehicle has 5 cameras. There's one in the front, 2 in the back, and 1 on the underside of each side mirror. And of course, the one on the top in the back is the rear view camera system, which is excellent. You can see right behind the vehicle, even if you have the back glass completely obstructed by cargo and passengers. So that's excellent. Now it has the 360 camera system, which I showed you, the top-down view. It has the front view, the back view. You can see, take a direct view at the front tires, the back tires, but it also has a blind spot camera. So if I put the turn signal in left or right, it will show up here and show me if there's a vehicle in my blind spot. Now, this is also good not only for checking your blind spot when making lane changes, but let's say you're making a turn and you're turning in. It gives you that view of the curb or the line right next to you. So if let's say there's a tight turn or whatever, you can look at that view, because you can't look at the 360 camera view while you're going fast. But this one, you can actually turn it on and see right where you are in relationship to other things, right there in that blind spot camera view. So yeah, the camera systems on this vehicle are really good. I wish every vehicle had this level of cameras on the vehicle, because really, you know, 5 cameras, you're able to do so much with those 5 cameras that it just makes it a game changer as far as parking the vehicle, drive the vehicle, backing up, going forward, and even in, you know, potential off-road or just kind of situations where you're a little bit iffy, having that camera system really is a game changer for a lot of ways. And like, so this vehicle isn't like primarily an off-road vehicle, but in off-road situations on off-road vehicles, you know, like every vehicle, there's like almost, I can't think of any situation where, you know, where you wouldn't want these cameras, you know, making a lane change and, you know, having that blind spot camera just kind of saves the day sometimes. You know, because there's always sometimes where you look over your shoulder or whatever, or the you might not see something, or the blind spot detector doesn't detect something or whatever. Having that certainty with the camera systems is excellent. Now this vehicle has the Highway Driving Assist 2.0 system, and on certain highways, for one thing, it has the adaptive cruise control, so that works all the time, and the lane keep assist system works well, and you know, everything like that. But the Highway Driving Assist system is a little bit more advanced, and it only works on certain highways, you know, controlled intersections, that kind of thing. And it's not a hands-free system, but it does give you the ability, give you a solid footing on the lane, and it also gives you the assistance as far as changing lanes. So you put your turn signal on, the lane keep assist system will accommodate that lane change. And so yeah, the 2.0 on this vehicle it's a little bit of a step ahead of the original Highway Driving Assist system, but it's not like a hands-free or anything. But it only works on certain highways. So this road right here doesn't have the exits and all that stuff. It doesn't have that designation of being a highway on the Highway Driving Assist map, basically. So it's not going to get the full functionality. And I've demonstrated this in the EV6 and some other vehicles, the Highway Driving Assist on certain highways, and it has a it works well. It's not, me personally, I don't use the lane change stuff. I'd rather change lanes myself, have full control over everything. But as far as like bumper to bumper traffic, or just following like this, having adaptive cruise control with a advanced system, driving assist systems, is this type of stuff right here makes it so much easier, especially if it's stop and go, because this will actually come to a complete stop and then continue. So if it's a brief, like you stop for a brief second and then you move forward, the car in front of you move forward, it'll just continue to go. So yeah, stop and go traffic, heavy congestion, like where you're in a just bumper to bumper, but you're kind of slowly creeping along, those type of situations, the Highway Driving Assist and the adaptive cruise control on this vehicle and other Kias and Hyundais it works really well, and it'll spoil you. It makes it so much easier and less stressful to drive in those situations. So right now I'm not hitting the brake. The adaptive cruise control system is stopping the vehicle, keeping me at the set distance I have in front of the vehicle, which varies depending on how fast you go. All right, it's come to a complete stop now, and it shows a visual reference here on the screen. Now that I've stopped for more than a few seconds, it does tell me that if I want to continue, I have to hit the accelerator. But if it's a brief stop, it'll continue. But in this case, I will have to hit the accelerator, and then it'll resume the adaptive cruise control and all that stuff.
Sorento scene. Sorento scene. In the Sorento scene. Panoramic sky, wide and clear, never cease, the comfort's near, safety first with every turn, assistant shot, no need to learn. Sorento's calling, let's ignite, conquer the road, day or night, with power strong. So clean, the future's here in the Sorento scene. Digital key, I'm in control. Tune for adventure, let's take a stroll. Sorento scene.